Bill Evans was an American jazz pianist. His career spanned from the 1950s to 1980. He played with all sorts of people, I guess possibly most prominently on the album Kind of Blue with Miles Davis. He did a lot of work with trios. He was involved in modal jazz, and his approach to piano playing and jazz seems to particularly focus around extended chords and interesting additions to chords at the top. He apparently suffered quite a bit for being a white man in a black man's music world. He was not given the same recognition that he might have had if he was black, apparently. But he has a typically large discography. He died in 1980 of multiple causes, and some of those were connected with his drug addictions. Hi, my name's Dan. So this is my first listen to this album, but we've come across Bill Evans before. He has appeared earlier in this list, and he's played with lots of important people. So this is an album of instrumental jazz. It's my third jazz album in a row, and it's a trio of piano, bass, and drums. Obviously, Bill's on the piano because that's his instrument. And this is recorded, so the context is that it's recorded about 8 months after an album called Kind of Blue was recorded, which included Bill Evans, but was led by Miles Davis. And in retrospect, looking back, a lot of people seem to think that it was a very pivotal album in terms of jazz, particularly the development of modal jazz. So apparently this album is also an important album, probably not as important as Kind of Blue, but it's important, especially because in this album, the bass and the drums have a more pivotal role than they, I understand, often had in jazz previously to this. I couldn't really say because my knowledge of jazz isn't great, so I'm picking these things up. Guess what? By reading Wikipedia. It's such an easy thing to do. So the tunes that are being used here are jazz standards, and there's definitely got the kind of classic, what I call the book ending. So you start with the tune, then you have some improvisation, you finish with the tune to kind of, let people know where they are. It's not particularly crazy in terms of the improvisation. It does bear some relation to what's going on elsewhere, but it has a certain amount of freedom going on. So I do recognise 2 other tracks, which were songs, so When I Fall in Love and Someday My Prince Will Come. And Someday My Prince Will Come is a fast rendition of it, which is quite interesting. Overall, what do I think? It's okay. As an album to listen to, it feels kind of fairly standard jazz from a modern perspective. It's quite listenable. They can play well. I did find it as a whole a little bit on the dull side. I think that mostly is because it's just the 3 of them, and it's the same kind of stuff mostly over and over again. It's the sort of stuff that you might expect in the lobby in a hotel when you're going to a wedding reception, somebody tinkling away, and but you've got a bass and drums here as well. It's very kind of mellow in that sense. So I know that it's meant to be a pivotal album, but I'm trying to review these albums as a listening experience rather than so much being on how important they are for the development of their genre. And it's okay. It's what I think. So please let me know what you think. And that's it from me for now.